They found a wall around Earth, a signal that spoke once, then vanished forever, and a code buried inside the human body that we still don't fully understand. These were not myths. These were not fringe theories. These were published, peer-reviewed discoveries made by real scientists who, after seeing what they found, went silent. Discovery 1. It spoke once. The wow signal. August 15, 1977. Big Ear Radio Observatory, Ohio. Astronomer Jerry Eman was reviewing data printouts when something stopped him. A radio signal, 72 seconds long, matching every predicted characteristic scientists had theorized an extraterrestrial transmission might produce. He circled it. He wrote one word in the margin. Wow! The signal arrived precisely within the hydrogen line frequency, albeit the wavelength considered most likely for any intelligent civilization attempting contact. It has never been detected again. Dozens of listening attempts, decades of directed scanning, nothing. What unsettled scientists wasn't the signal itself, it was the silence, the absolute unbroken silence that replaced it. Discovery 2. Earth has a wall, the Van Allen barrier. In 2012, NASA's Van Allen probes detected something no existing model had predicted: a sharp, invisible boundary inside Earth's own radiation belts, a zone where ultra-fast electrons simply stop. Scientists called it a transport barrier, but what made it strange wasn't its existence. It was how precisely it held. The boundary remained stable in ways that forced researchers to rethink how particles move through Earth's magnetic environment. It looked less like a natural fluctuation and more like a threshold. One lead researcher described it quietly. It's almost like there's a glass wall around Earth, almost like something that we still do not fully understand was holding it in place. Discovery 3. The Great Absence. The Bootes supervoid. In 1981, astronomers mapping the deep universe encountered a region that made their models uncomfortable. A span of space, roughly 330 million light-years across, containing almost nothing. No significant galaxy clusters, no dense gas formations, just absence. The Bootes supervoid. Cosmological models can produce voids, but not many this large, this empty, and this difficult to explain within the expected timeline of the universe. The problem was not simply that it existed, it was how vast it appeared, how empty it seemed, and how little the leading models could say about it with confidence. It looked less like empty space and more like something had been removed. You found the signal. Subscribe to Lost Signal. Leave your theory in the comments. Discovery 4. The code inside you, the dark side of junk DNA. When the Human Genome Project completed in 2003, scientists expected to finally read the full instruction manual of human life. Instead, they discovered that roughly 98% of human DNA appeared to serve no obvious function. They called it junk DNA, and for years they moved on. But they were wrong too. As sequencing technology advanced, researchers began identifying regulatory elements, epigenetic markers, and structured repetitive sequences within that so-called junk. Sequences that switch genes on and off, respond to environmental pressure, and in some cases carry biological information across generations. The terrifying part was not that something mysterious wrote it. It was that we lived for decades inside a body, without knowing how much of its own instruction manual we could not yet read. Discovery 5. The planet that erases worlds, hot Jupiters. In 1995, astronomers confirmed the existence of a planet orbiting a sun-like star at a distance that should have been impossible. A gas giant, massive, and at a distance that seemed impossible. Under older models of planet formation, they called them hot Jupiters. And as more were catalogued, a pattern emerged that no one had wanted to find. These planets migrate inward, spiraling closer to their stars, and as they do, they destabilize everything in their path. Smaller planets ejected from their orbits, habitable zones erased, entire solar systems reshaped by the gravitational force of a single wandering world. Our solar system does not have one, which leaves one question sitting quietly in the back of every planetary scientist's mind. Did we get lucky, or were we protected? Some signals are not meant to be found, but you are still here. Discovery 6. The mind without a brain. Slime mold intelligence. In 2010, researchers placed a slime mold, Physarum polycephalum, into a physical model of the Tokyo metropolitan area. Food sources were set at the positions of major cities. Within 26 hours, the organism had produced a network nearly identical to the Tokyo rail system, one of the most efficient transit infrastructures ever built by human engineers. No brain, no neurons, no central command, a single-celled organism solved in one day. What took decades of human planning to optimize, the result was not just impressive, it was uncomfortable. Because if problem solving can emerge from something with no mind at all, no nervous system, no consciousness, no intent, then what exactly is intelligence? And how many things around us are processing the world in ways we haven't learned to recognize? Discovery 7. The Force, rewriting the universe, dark energy and Defy. For decades, scientists knew the universe was expanding. In 2023, data from the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument, the most detailed large-scale map of the cosmos ever produced, introduced a new uncertainty. Dark energy, the force believed to drive that expansion, may not be the fixed constant our models assumed. It may be changing, evolving, behaving differently than any current theory fully explains. The data did not confirm catastrophe. It did something stranger. It suggested that the force shaping the fate of everything, every galaxy, every star, every second of time yet to pass, may have to be fundamentally rewritten. One cosmologist involved in the study described the findings with a single word: unsettling. That's one word for it. A wall around Earth, a voice from deep space, a void too vast to explain, a code inside the human body, a mind without a brain, planets that erase solar systems, and a universe whose fundamental rules may still be changing. Science found them, but science has not finished explaining them. And somewhere right now, in a lab, an observatory, a server cluster running deep field analysis, someone is staring at data that will make this list look ordinary. This is lost signal, and the signal is still transmitting.